Welcome back to Dyslexic Style News, where you get your host, Sarah. It's only me on today, and I hope that you've checked out my previous videos from dyslexia on down and the different types, where I express my opinion on different stories I've personally experienced or people I've met with this particular type of dyslexia. So from the title, you can see that this one is, and this is my chair, y'all. It's my chair. But okay, from the title, you can see that this video is about surface dyslexia. So let's jump right in. So what I will be doing is I'll be reading the definition, and I'll be explaining my experience or somebody that I actually have met that have this particular type of dyslexia. Now, this can be a wow factor for a lot of people, not knowing that there's different forms of dyslexia, and it's not just dyslexia. You got dysgraphia, dyscalculia, phonological dyslexia, and double deficient dyslexia, which is one of the hardest ones to deal with when a person have that. And if you have any type of dyslexia, definitely join the Dyslexic Awareness and subscribe to my channel, where I share all things dyslexia and opinions from a dyslexic mindset. Punchline is dyslexic thinking. So yeah. Surface dyslexia means a specific form of dyslexia that is characterized by a difficulty with whole word recognition, in particular with words that don't sound like they are spelled. And I can sit here and off the top of my head and go with dyslexia. When I first saw the word dyslexia, it reminded me of symbol, because dyslexia got that SY in it, but it's YS with dyslexia. With symbol, it's SY. And the shape of that word mentally pulls out that word symbol for me. But yeah. Surface dyslexia, form that is characterized by a difficulty with whole word recognition. I personally don't have struggles with surface dyslexia, in particular with words that don't sound like they are spelled. Let me take that back. It really depends on what the word is. For coming from a dyslexic person myself, it really depends on what the word is, because I look at words like this. So, right here, you got the word symbol and dyslexia. And in my mind, I see it as, and I actually, if you've watched my previous videos, when I taught myself how to spell and read, it took me 3 years. Between age 7 to 10, I was already reading fluently. But this is how I started seeing words. Once I realized that there's a pattern in English language when we write correct sentences. Sarah goes through the tunnel in her car. That's probably a bad example, but storytelling, when when we're writing stories in class, we pick it off of the top story that's in class. I kind of having a hard time explaining myself, but even in an English language class, if you're reading a book and they're short story books, and you're reading them back to back to back, I'm able to see a pattern in the language that's portrayed in the storytelling. And that pattern is the English language pattern. And I'm sure a lot of you all can, if not all of y'all, can notice the same thing after reading stories. But that stood out to me in reference to words. So when I kept seeing the word through, to, the, is, but, words started with when. Who is a question. How is a question. So when I started seeing those words, then I started seeing them like this. Because it's like, at first, the bigger words that I haven't seen before was foreign. Until I kept opening books and actually underlining them. So that was just something, a pet peeve of mine. If my parents, we in church, and it's me and my sister sitting down, knowing that we probably get to fighting. This is me when I'm young, like 5, 6 years old. And they say, sit down. They slap a pencil and a paper in my lap. If they slap a book in my lap, I will be underlining, if not highlighting. But I started seeing words like this, just how this is. It got the bumpy for over the B, and then a hump for the J, and then it got the one slope down for the Y. Same thing. And that's why symbol and dyslexia is actually flopped on here. But that's why these two words remind me of each other. Because you got the SY and then the YS. And it has to be because you got the two humps and you got the one lower hump. And that's just personally of how I think. So yeah, surface dyslexia definition: a specific form of dyslexia that is characterized by a difficulty with whole word recognition. Difficulty is the key word with whole word recognition. So sometimes I can break it down, sometimes I can't. But with words like symbol and dyslexia, because I use dyslexia now often, that's a common word in my vocabulary as well as symbol. So if it was a foreign word, then breaking it down may be a challenge, but sometimes it's not. When it comes to Bible names, when I'm reading the Bible, a lot of times when I'm reading that, I guess I catch it on a good day. I'm very intrigued by new words. So yeah, that's the definition of surface dyslexia and my opinion on it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Catch you in the next one. Peace.